And Mr. President, since I mentioned the terrorist who's visiting with the president right now, let me kind of elaborate a little bit, because it's something that people are really kind of looking the other way right now. They don't know what is going on in Africa, and I have been on this floor 9 different times talking about the atrocities that have been committed in this little country called Côte d'Ivoire. They had a president there by the name of Laurent Gbagbo. He and his wife were great people, friends of this country. And an election took place that I stood here and showed how it was fraudulent. And a guy, his name is Alassane Ouattara. And right now, as we speak, at this very moment, President Obama is meeting with the rebel leader and the potential war criminal Alassane Ouattara in our nation's Oval Office. This is an unwise and grossly misguided decision on behalf of President Obama. It is, in fact, an outrage that our president would welcome with open arms a man who's responsible for at least 3,000 people and the displacement of 500,000 refugees in the African country of Côte d'Ivoire. Ouattara is an illegitimate usurper who has scandalized Côte d'Ivoire's electoral system and unlawfully ousted Democratic incumbent Laurent Gbagbo. Beginning last year, Ouattara fraudulently won Côte d'Ivoire's presidential election. And after President Gbagbo revealed the fraud, he led a rebel army that violently overthrew the Gbagbo government with the support of the French military, which wrongly intervened in this former French colony. This is a picture, Mr. President. This is one of Ouattara's death squads going through, murdering, maiming, raping. It's happening right now as we speak. And who is in the president's office? Alassane Ouattara. As a result, Amnesty International reported on July 28th that 500,000 Ivorians are displaced in post-election violence and are prevented from returning home because of a climate of fear that continues to reign in this country. Amnesty International specifically singles out Ouattara's security forces and his state-sponsored militia composed of dozens of dozos, they're called, who continue to target pro-Gbagbo ethnic groups. Dozos, traditional hunters, are mercenary groups that both Amnesty International and the International Committee of the Red Cross for carrying out the massacres in April of at least 220 people in the western town of Dequay. Now, here they are, folks, Mr. President. See the charred bodies down here? All murdered by the Ouattara, who's in the president's office right now as we speak. There's the executions going on. There's the burning and beating the back of one of the opponents, one of the political opposition. And that's what's happening today. Amnesty International alleges that these forces under Ouattara's command are continuing to engage in, I'm quoting now, documented crimes under international law and human rights violations and abuses, including extrajudicial executions and other unlawful killings, rape and other sexual violence, torture, other ill-treated and arbitrary, I'm reading now, this is from Amnesty International, and arbitrary arrest and detention, as well as the consequences of high levels of displacement, pervasive insecurity, and intentional destruction of homes and other buildings not justified by military necessity, end quote. And what they're talking about is this. You can see this person being tortured to death. This actually was someone from the cabinet. Wasn't this one from his cabinet? Yeah, he was from the Gbagbo cabinet. And he's tried to make the statement, Ouattara has tried to say that he's hiring some of the Gbagbos, the previous administration. That's what he's right in the middle of killing. He died right after that. This right here, they're executing someone. This is another person that was they found was a Gbagbo supporter. This is happening today as we speak. Ouattara's bloodletting seems unabated, and he does not seem to be interested in restraining his forces from eliminating perceived pro-Gbagbo supporters. He does not deserve an invitation to our White House or an audience with the president in the Oval Office. Instead of participating in our nation's budget crisis, President Obama is meeting with this killer and the human rights abuser even today, while Alassane Ouattara is in the president's office. His death squads are roaming the streets of Abidjan. It's an outrage, and maybe now we understand where some of the priorities are. With that, I'll yield the floor.